G'day guys and welcome to Easy Green. Today I'm going to show you how I transplant my young seedlings into their next container, still under my grow lights, which I'll show you in a minute, and how I go about it, when I do it and why I do it, the stuff I use. It's been working 100% for me, so I may as well share it. Trialed it a few times. If you see anything you don't like or anything you have any other pointers on, then feel free to show me or comment below and let me know. But yeah. Alright, so we'll get into it, and the first thing I'll show you is the grow station. Cheers. Okay, so you can see here, I've got just a normal garage shelving unit. Found some lights that I've picked up for free, some fluoros, 240 volt, been in Australia, and replace them with T5 grow lights so I get the right light that I need for them. The only trouble I'm having is the height at the moment, because they try to run or get leggy, as people say. So yeah, I've been trying to work out that, but I think I come up with a solution. You can see some herbs down the bottom there growing, some basil, oregano and parsley, and some spare baskets and so forth. But I'll bring you up close. So you can see my basil's just sprouted. I'm going for the, trying to remember the name of the method, but it's where you just lay hundreds of seeds, or not hundreds, but 15, 20 seeds in one 45 by 45 grow cube of soil, planter, sorry, and let them all sprout, and then you break them up and put them in others. So we've got basil coming through here, and they sprouted in about 3-4 days. And then chives. Now, chives are meant to be really hard, but they seem to be going quite well, and this is just the store-bought seedlings that you get. Same method, same process. I'm going to tear them into 2, maybe 3, and put them into other grow beds. So there's my herbs that I've got going at the moment. A lot of friends and family are going to have them, so they're pretty excited. But that's not what we're transplanting. This is what we're transplanting. See, I've just got my true leaves come through on all my lettuces, so I'm going to transplant all of them and put them in there. Now, I put 3 seeds in each one, and then once they grew up to about this height, I cut them all off and left the best looking ones in there. I've just taken the cover off. Same thing, about 3 days they were all out, and I used the humidity cover underneath with the adjustable lid tops. Adjusted them for the first 2 days, and then once they had that and it was still getting pretty humid and they started to get a bit leggy, so I took that off and lifted it up towards the grow light up here. But anyway, we'll get into it and I'll show you how I do it, how I label it, and my little process of things. Alright, cheers guys. Alright guys, here we go. So I've got all my stuff where I need it. I've got everything ready. I have my potting mix in here, which has full of organic matter, but it has slow releasing food in there for the plants as well, and it's pre-moistened, and what I moisten it with is my sea salt. And now this is really good for doing clones or liquid fertilising your vegetables every 2 weeks. The best thing to do is do this when you're doing cloning, and you let them for a week inside under the light still, just to deal with the shock from the transplant, and then once they're done they'll go outside and they'll go into my cheap little plastic hothouse that I bought from our local hardware store. Had them on special and I grabbed them. I thought I'd give it a go, and they're working really well. I'll show you them soon. Alright, so when we start, foam cups is what I'm transferring in, just your normal little white foam cups. Now I've got my plants here, and I've pre-filled this one, so I'll touch it down a little bit, but not much because I'm going to open it up. The biggest thing you can do before your thins is give it a good drink the night before, which I did, and now I'm just going to moisten the top of them again to give them a good spray to help with the transplant. And then straight in there. So I'll give it a good spray. Now this is just straight water. You can use your rainwater, your filtered water, or whatever you want, but I'm literally just using the normal tap water. That's all I'm using. I've always used it and it's worked well, just because I don't have the facilities here to be able to hook up to rainwater. But anyway, right, so I'll just get my spoon. First things first, make a good hole in the middle there. So when I open those roots, I'll come all the way down so you can see inside there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a good hole in there. Oh, hey buddy. Puppy's coming to say hi. Go on mate, yeah. So I'll get my spoon, pick it in there, so I'll scoop it down. Be sure to get the bottom of it, pick it up, and just start to loosen the dirt off a bit. So the dirt will fall away. Now, when you're transplanting, I can't stress enough that you don't want to grab the stem, because if you grab that stem, you could break all the veins that are inside the stem that are going to give the plant the nutrients that it needs to put new leaves on. So the trick is, your seed leaves, this is why you do it when you just get your 2 true leaves, is because you grab your seed leaves and you slowly work it out with that. And it will come up in a big ball. And that's the root ball so far. For such a little seedling, so 6 to 7 days, so many roots are coming through there, and the other seeds are knocked in with it. So straight from here, and I'm pinching it with the leaves, straight into the cup. Now I'm going to bury the stem a little bit. Now the reason for this is because they're a bit leggy. I don't want them to be leggy. I want them to stay short and get filled up with the lettuce leaves. That's what you want, essentially. So now I'll put it in there like that, and you can see it's just in there, and I've buried it just below the ring of the cup. And the idea of that is to trap some more light in there because it's got a white surface. But I'm going to put some dirt in there and backfill it. So I'll just grab just a pinch of the dirt, or the potty mix rather. Which, remember, it's got my pre-moistened, so it's all got the nutrients going straight to the roots. And I just firm it down just a little bit, just to make them feel at home. Nice and secure. I know I like a nice tight warm bed. So that is essentially it, as you can see. Now I have 1 lettuce growing in 1 cup. These will, like I said, will go back under the light, and I'll lift them up so they get higher. But they'll be under the light for another week or so, roughly a week, 5 days or so, and then I'll transplant them out to the, just to harden off a little bit outside. They'll go out, do their hardening off, so it'll be 1 day out there, blah, blah, blah. But I'll show you that in another video, so you understand what I'm talking about there. Now, with labelling, you want to know what's going in first and what's growing if you're planting your beds for rotations and crop rotations for your feed. So on this one, if you can see, I've written L1, W1, and the 20th of June. So that to me is telling me, which I've got in my little codes in my book, says lettuce 1, week 1. So then I know what it is. And that will all be this one. So this is my lettuce 1 variety that I've tried with the seeds. This is week 1 for my crop rotation. And then I have, obviously, the date on there so you know when it's going. So these will go from here, spend another week here, another 2 weeks in the hothouse, the hardening off, 10 days roughly, and then they'll go on the grow bed, and then they'll be ready in about 6 weeks in this climate. It is winter here, not that you can tell, but it is North Queensland. It's raining outside at the moment, but it's nice and toasty warm inside here. Other than that, they go on top of this tray, and that's just to catch the water. And then I'll lift this tray up higher towards the light so it gets there. But the problem is I don't want to get too high because I don't want the leaves to dry out. Hence the pre-moistened soil. I'll go ahead and do all these, and then I'll get back to you and I'll show you the finished result. Anyway guys, cheers. So essentially that's it. So they've all been transplanted. They're back under the lights, and I've got them lifted up so they can be as close as possible to the light. You can see they're all there. Now, I can't stress the fact that it's very important to change the soil. That's why I actually break down the soil that's around the root in the seed starting mix, because that seed essentially has drained out majority of those nutrients. So therefore, when it's going in with transplant shock, it's not going to have the feed it needs to get going again. Yeah, so just transplant out. I just started a new seed starting mix instead of trying to mix up my own, and I'm quite happy with it. It's all organic and it worked quite well. Like those root structures after a week were about 1 inch to 1.5 inches long, so you're looking at what, 4 centimeters roughly around there, which is really good. They should be quite healthy and going, but I'll keep you updated. I'll quickly duck outside before it gets too dark and show you where they're going to go to harden off. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Yeah, well, it's been good to give you another update. If you have any questions or any inquiries about what I do or how my methods are, how they go, I'll be showing you updates as they grow so you can understand what's going through it and the next step that I'll take in a couple of weeks, and the general care and maintenance of it. But as for that, it's straightforward. It's all easy, cheap stuff to get, and it's growing your own salads, which is great on your sambos and in your salads. It was easier to take a photo of the greenhouses, which you'll see just before. I apologise for not getting the video and explaining it a bit more, but it's a bit dark outside and there's too much traffic, so couldn't really explain it. Next time I'll be showing you how I break up the basil as well. I'll be showing you that one soon. I've got a few videos coming up, starting tomato seedlings, transplanting them, some rare and exotic varieties which would be good to have around the house, and also I've got a potato one as well, so I'm going to do my potatoes again this year. I did one before and I literally planted one seed potato and I had a 12-to-1 ratio return on Desiree potatoes, which was unreal. Could not expect any more. And yeah, when I do that I'll show you how I went about it and where I got the information from, so you can have a look at their videos too, which is really good. There's a guy over in the UK, forget his name for now, but I'll definitely remember it for next time when I do the potatoes. Setting up a few wicking beds at the back out of IBCs as well, so there's a couple more of them to come. But yeah, other than that, if you've got, any, like I said, any suggestions or any questions, pop it in below. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got more videos coming and you can send it around to more people and get it out there. I mean, I'm only throwing out some information that I do, but yeah, hopefully it helped you guys. Anyway, see you next time.